May 9th, 1989. And we're at 237 Alta Vista and Water Delilah. And present are
James Boyd,
Marguerite Kennedy Boyd,
and somebody else.
someone by the name of Michael Boyd and his wife Ruin. And we're recording these great events in our past life for posterity.
Past lives.
Past lives.
Oh,
mine isn't past.
And I think it would be fun if to start with any interesting story or remembrance that you can tell us of your parents or grandparents when they were little that they might have told you. Do you have any remembrance of stories
I
they
have
told
nothing
you?
that they ever told me about. My father used to talk a lot about it in his younger days, but I never knew whether it was fact or fiction, and I don't remember details. So.
Oh, was he a good storyteller?
He was a pretty good storyteller. Yeah, I heard your dad was a storyteller par excellence. You could regale with some of those stories.
I can't remember those stories, but my dad was a big liar like Irishmen always are.
Tell them about the Colorado thing that you talked about.
Oh, when my dad was young, he found out that he had a bad heart and he had tuberculosis, and in those days they didn't do anything but to send you out west to die. So he went out west to die and didn't. He he worked in various places, and then he eventually worked in a gold mine, and he must have made some money because he started trading things, which I think is why he got the land down in Texas that he and my Uncle Tom eventually built a house in Houston.
That would be like downtown.
Yeah, it's downtown Houston
Yeah.
now.
And that was in the teens? Or the...
No, it was before Buzz was born, and Buzz was 3 years younger than I was, and was born while we were in Houston. And when I got to be in 5th grade or 4th grade, I was so dumb, and I stood up in front of the class, and I said, "Oh, that's Houston, Texas, and it's a good thing we went down there because that's where we got my baby brother." And everybody laughed like I was so dumb, and I knew I'd said something stupid.
Well,
When did you move to?
I can't remember when you actually lived there.
Well, she was
I was
5.
about 3 or 4.
Well, see, that was a teen. Mike said, was it
Huh?
in the teens? You
That
said
was in
no.
the teens?
No, that was.
So when,
I was
wondering
born
when he
in
had been.
1911, so that was about 1915 or so.
Wasn't that the teens?
That was the
Oh,
teens, but I was
I
wondering
thought
when
you
your
meant-
dad was. See, I was wondering when he first was down there.
In
The
Texas,
years he was in,
or
years
in
before.
Colorado. It must
Well,
have
I
been
guess in the
before
West
the
in
first
general.
of the century
Yeah.
that he was in Colorado.
What year was he born in?
He was born in 1868, and he and Mom were married when he was about 40, I think, or 42.
Yeah.
Or I thought he was 42 when I was born, and they must have been married before that.
It seems like it.
And she was born in 86 or so, something like
Yeah,
that.
He, I think, was born in 68 because he would be a lot over 100 years now.
He sure was.
Sure was. 120.
Yeah.
30 something. What did you say?
And
68?
He had the
31.
youngest soul I ever saw. I mean, I knew he was old and thought of him as being old, but he never seemed old.
Yeah.
And you were born in Mount Vernon?
Home of Cornell College.
What did your family do in Mount Vernon?
Well, my father actually worked for a company called Williamson Printing Company, which was a millwork company in Cedar Rapids. He traveled. My mother graduated from the School of Music at Cornell and taught vocal music to private pupils while I was growing up.
Did she play the piano as well?
Well, she didn't play it well, but she played it. She played it well enough to accompany her pupils. And,
Did she give you lessons?
not very much, really. I'm kind of sorry now that I didn't take it more seriously. She did after my voice changed. She didn't believe as a child she could really sing very well.
Really?
because of the possible straining.
Is that still a current thought?
Well, you think not, the way these kids start singing when they're 11 or 12 years old, straining their voices to Who Laid the Rail. And I think probably it really doesn't matter because I never knew a kid yet who didn't use the top of his lung capacity. And they seem to grow out of it all right.
Can you remember living in Mount Vernon?
Oh yeah,
When did you move to
when I
Andover?
was 12.
I remember once we went to Mount Vernon and there was a brick house.
And folks, well, the boys had brick houses in Mount Vernon. By the time we got there, I guess, my grandfather built two and lived in the two, and then my father, when he built, also built a brick house.
Yeah.
But the two that my grandfather built were made out of native brick, and it's a beautiful rose
That
color.
beautiful pink brick
Yeah.
down there.
Where had he come from?
Oh, he came around, not directly, but I'm not sure where in the East I think he landed probably in Boston, because they seem to have connections somehow with Boston.
What was his name?
David
David.
Lindsay Boyd.
Oh, that Michael's named after? Lindsay's a nice name too.
He's named after his two grandfathers. Our two grandfathers.
Oh, really?
Her grandfather was Michael, and mine was David.
Did you know your grandfather, Michael? No, you never met
All
him.
my
course,
grandparents
she-
were dead.
From the time I'd known her, she said, I'm going to have redheaded kids, and the first was going to be named Michael, so it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Only we shouldn't put the David in front of it.
That runs in the family too, putting
Yeah.
the name.
I knew it was.
Do you remember the names of the streets? The street that your house was on in Mount Vernon?
910th Street.
910th Street.
Mhm.
Oh my word.
So, what kind of memory do you have about
Well,
Mount Vernon?
of course, they're boyhood memories, and I must have started at 7 or 8 years old, walking out to Abbey Creek every day in the summer. I loved to fish, and we the Abbey Creek, you look at it now and you think, how could you ever been fishing there? But there were bullheads and there were shiners, and there was a lot of pretty good-sized sucker. And we would start up near the top, a place called Ink's Pond, and we'd fish down the creek. And
That was IPAs.
when the fish stopped biting in that hole, we'd go swimming. And we'd climb up and go on down. We had a sack lunch. We didn't bother to wash or anything else to eat lunch. I remember. I think I was nauseated. It didn't bother me a bit.
So you say we would do that. You and your brothers? Or?
No, my brothers were really, they're so much different in age.
Mhm.
See, Bill is 7 years older than I am.
Well,
He's
he
my
was.
next older brother.
Oh. So just you
So he
guys.
was the closest, he
Yeah.
was still 7 years.
Yeah. 7 years there, and I think between him and Spike,
There were two.
was it 2?
Or maybe it was
No, it was
Don
more
and
than
Spike.
Don and Spike were 18 months apart. I think Spike was about 4 years older.
It always sounds like it was perpetually summer when you were a boy, because
Yeah.
it always sounds like it's very
I
idyllic.
really
life
don't
in a
remember
way.
too much about the winters. We used to slide on what was called Presbyterian Hill because the Presbyterian Church was at the top of it. And it was a great hill. It was a great, you know how Mount Vernon is. The metropolitan area and the business district runs along the top of the hill and goes off on both sides.
Oh, really?
I can't remember
I don't
that. I
remember
think-
it either. No.
Yeah, we were there together.
We
You
all
were
went
there. We all went through there at
Oh.
some point, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can remember. I vaguely
I
remember
remember the
seeing
brick
your
house.
house.
Yeah.
Well, we should
There's
go
a
sometime
postal
over here.
card.
Yeah, we should make a trip
Of it
sometime.
upstairs.
Oh.
Because I separated
Yeah.
all the pictures out. So, that was a huge house. Then when Dick's family moved to Eldora, Helen Robertson's mother had died, leaving her father and 7 or 8 kids. And they rented that house, nearly tore it to pieces.
That house in Mount Vernon?
Uh-huh. The
Yeah,
same
they
house.
just-
That's
Her
amazing.
oldest sister took over as being mother for a while until he married
And the discipline was not great. And, I think Dad was very relieved when they left, and he sold it.
He sold that house, yeah. And then you bought the one, they bought the one in Eldora.
Yeah, they bought quite an old house that was on that corner, and started to remodel it. Before they got through, there wasn't very much of the old house left, but it was a very comfortable home.
What street was that on?
How do you
That first
remember
week?
streets in Eldora? I don't. It was Pierce Edition.
Yeah, I can't remember that street.
You don't remember the street that your house was on?
I.
They don't have the
You
mostly
didn't
on
have
First
to
Street or Second
remember
Street or
when we were
Third
young.
Street.
Things were just addressed to Eldora,
Mhm.
and
I never used street addresses.
I think it was 14th Street or something like that. I'm not sure, but bet.
And it was a small enough town, so most people knew if you didn't remember a telephone number, chances are you could call and say, I want to talk to the Kennedy residents and you're at the Central North.
Or if you couldn't get somebody, you'd say, tell Central, I wonder where Boyd's are. And she'd tell you.
That's great.
So I can remember your folks' house more clearly. Yeah. Why is that? I know, because I used to go stay,
Stay with Mom and Dad.
and your folks were
My mother.
both, they had died by
My
then.
mother had. Dad was still alive. But
And then he married Fanny.
he got married Fanny Dearden.
Remember that house?
Oh, sure, that I
That
remember.
big one?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a museum.
And when you were staying with Meg's folks, Dad was staying in our home, but there was another family with him, the Bishop family. Dr. Bishop and his wife.
Oh, that was the house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I
Yeah.
remember, that's what I remember. I
Yeah.
keep thinking of the Bishops in that house,
Uh-huh.
and I thought somehow they were neighbors. That was the house.
Yeah.
That comes back. So he was still
Yeah.
living in
Yeah.
And
I
then-
remember that pretty well.
After Dick's father died, Bishops wanted to buy the house. They didn't have any money, but Dick was so kind. He thought, well, if that was his father's wish that they buy it,
Which they
so
told-
it was
which he
sold
told me
real
it was.
cheap and never got much paid for.
Oh, really?
And
I think we sold that house for
$7,000 or something.
Huh.
It's a gorgeous
Yeah,
house.
it's in my memory.
I think he turned it over within a year for double that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But the people who have lived there, I can't remember.
Joe Kramer,
Joe
and he's
Kramer.
dead.
Took beautiful care of the house. They repaired it all, and I hadn't been in the house. He was always saying, when you're here, come on, and I'm sure they would have been happy. I don't know what his wife has done, whether she's going to get rid of it now. Well, it's a big house, and their kids are grown, I think. So I suppose they really have no use for that size home. So I don't know whether, who they have it now.
And you remember your grandparents?
Yes.
You don't.
I remember my mother's parents pretty well, because they lived where our house was. There was an empty lot next door, and then they lived on the corner, just south of us.
This was in Mount Vernon?
In Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
And when my grandmother died, my grandmother Shire, grandfather Shire, eventually came to live with us for quite a while. And, I remember them well. When I couldn't get something between meals for mother, I had to go with grandmother's, but I always couldn't. I don't remember my grandmother Boyd really at all. I remember grandfather Boyd because he was a big man and quite gruff, and still had quite a little Gaelic accent and a beautiful white beard. And I was very much in awe of him.
White beard does it every time.
different kind of a person than my grandpa HisHer. But he died. He was in our home in Long Island. He was buried in there. All of the. Well, he died in Long Island. I think all our relatives were buried in Long Island Cemetery. All black folks. Those kinds of all the HisHers. These were all down there.
When you would go swimming and fishing and so forth in the summer, would you take the fish home and would your mom
Oh
cook
yeah,
them?
I had to clean them. But
Oh really? Yeah.
I think now, what a martyr she was. Because I know that some of them could have been over half as big as your hand. And I would bring them home and I'd clean them and she'd cook them.
I bet you didn't go fishing, Meg.
Never until we went up to the cabin a couple of years ago.
Did you ever fish out the river? I think you did.
Heavens, no, I was too busy chasing boys. Or are you chasing you?
I think you. I mean out
Where?
Deck in the Wida.
Kevin.
Oh, no.
Maybe just with the grandchildren.
Just,
Yeah, because it seems like when you sent us the picture of you and the big fish, you said that was the first fish you ever caught, or the first time you ever went fishing, or something.
Oh,
Just a
really?
couple of years ago when you said us the Northings.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was up north.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Is that's
That's
what you meant?
what I meant.
Yeah.
when
Right, but I don't remember you fishing at the cabin.
No, I didn't.
So you chased boys. That's
This was
what
a
you
When I
did.
was young.
When did they? Now the lake didn't exist when you were kids.
No.
right?
No,
I
they
used to-
played in
I
it
used to
when
play
it
in
was
the valley.
pasture.
It's a great place. I'd fish in that creek some.
Is that where you found the Indian arrowheads?
No, I found most of those around Mount Vernon.
Oh.
In fact, I lost a lot around Mount Vernon because when we moved, I had them all in a stein. It was in what we call the boys' room, that's where every boy had lived when we were growing up. And my mother gathered up all that stuff and gave it away or something. My arrowheads are all with it. So
Oh, gee.
I had quite a collection.
But you found those in Brandon.
Well, I think I found a few around Mount Vernon. There were some people had a lot of them. There was a farmer up north of Eldora. I don't know how you probably don't remember. You remember the coal bank hill? You probably don't. Anyhow, it's north of Eldora there. There was a farmer up there who every spring when he plowed his field, he plowed Indian artifacts. He had quite a collection. But I didn't find it. It was up near where the up near where
Or what?
I'm trying to think. Where he came out, he used to come down to this river, and he would go to Steamboat Rock. It's just a little down east. I don't know how to describe it.
When did so the lake was made somewhere during your
Yeah.
childhood, but where? Because it existed already when you were, what, high school age or
Yeah.
college age?
In high school age, I started lifeguarding. I guess my year out of
First year of
school.
college.
Yeah, well, the first summer before I went to college. I started that year, and then I did 3 other years, 2 other years.
Well, when you made the lake, had that been farmland, or was it?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, it
they
was
buy it up, or was it owned already by the?
No, that's the state bought it and dammed up this creek. That's where the lake came. And started silting in quite rapidly because it was fence road farming. And so they built the upper lake, which was supposed to be a silt bed to keep the lower lake from filling up.
Oh.
And I guess it served its function fairly well.
I remember it was drained a few years
It
ago.
drained a few
Walked
years ago,
along.
and they were going to drain it again, but it hasn't gotten drained yet.
So there's something wrong with the dam between the 2 lakes. They're going to drain it and fix that dam, but I don't think they've done it yet.
One, didn't you live on a farm most of the time too?
When she was young.
We lived
In
on
Eldora?
it 1 year when Dad didn't have any renters on it. And that was when I was 11. That was the nicest year I ever spent in my whole life, I think.
What did you like about it?
Oh, Buzz and I just played all the time. And that was the only year I ever kept a diary too.
We have a diary. Do you still have it?
It's somewhere, yeah.
Huh.
Age 11, I remember. And that was a place where we had this old horse, that spark plug that had been a racehorse. My dad said, I don't know what it did, but it was a swayed back horse. And he pastured it for somebody, and he'd bring it up, and we had this big square water tank out in back, and he would let me sit on the horse and while it drank, and I must have started kicking or something, but anyhow, this dang horse started up, and it went down the lane to the main road, and Dad after us.
Did you have reins or?
No, just in
No,
horse
No,
and
just
rein, I
his
think.
hair,
Oh,
you know,
brother.
and it plodding up to the little schoolhouse. It was, well, it seemed like it was miles away, and my poor dad running after it. And it finally just stopped. And me with it. And I remember I couldn't figure out why my parents were so, so nice to me and so worried about it. We played games that night. Oh, but we followed rabbit tracks in the winter, and we played around trees, made little, how houses are around trees, and it was just kind of and then down in the pasture lived, what was his name? That old man who panned bees and Julius, who was very,
He lived on the land.
yeah,
So
he just
permanent
lived there.
or-
Almost a hermit, yeah.
He just lived there,
You know,
and
little shack or something.
yeah, in some kind of
On the
thing.
farm?
Down in the pasture.
Huh.
And we never got very near him. I don't remember of even seeing him, but after we moved back to town, he had died. Somebody found him dead out there. And it was in the paper,
I think that was somewhere near
Julius
Longhill.
Mendenhall. I'd forgotten all
Yeah.
about him. Yeah.
Was that weren't you somewhere near Long Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Providence.
I used to ride the bread truck as well. Deliver bread through Providence and Long Hill.
Huh.
I don't know if there's anything Long Hill with you.
Yeah, I suppose.
It wasn't much then.
Is that far from Eldora?
No. I
We-
suppose.
Our farm was about 8 miles
I
out
was
from
gonna say,
Eldora.
Well, how did you happen to have a farm? When your dad came back, when you all moved back from Texas.
Texas, there were years that we, I think we must have lived on the money that he got every month from selling the rest of the land down in Texas. Because I can remember, we'd rent one house for a while, and one, I don't know whether we rented them or bought them, different places. We lived quite a few places in town, and had quite a bit of money for a while. It got less and less, and by the time we got to high school, there wasn't much money, and that was in the Depression anyhow. It wasn't that we lost any in the Depression, we just didn't have any.
No, he lost. Too.
Well, yeah, he
Your-
lost
your
the
father
farm
thought
and
nobody
everything.
would do any wrong. And unfortunately, that is human nature.
So
This
somehow
guy
the
who was
money
on the
just
farm
got-
took him for everything he had practically. Finally got the farm for practically nothing.
Yeah, well, by the time Dad finally had to take him to court to get the money on it, which Dad owed on it, and then there wasn't much left. But,
Anytime you go to court, you don't get much money.
so-
What did your dad do in Eldora?
Oh, for a while, at one time when I was younger, he ran furniture store and undertaking parlor. They used to be together, sort of
Always.
with somebody. Were they always that way?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then an undertaker couldn't make a living just on that in those days. That was sort of a byline.
but
I thought he
And
once
then-
was something like county treasurer.
yeah, he was a county recorder
Oh,
for a couple of times.
Hopes that wasn't when they recorded your birthday.
Of course not. He was the only
Got the
one that
wrong
had
year.
that right on my baby book.
Yeah. The county recorder had it the wrong year.
So I almost got to be a year younger than I was.
maybe you're not the person you think you are.
Yes, he is.
Fortunately, I am.
That's straightened out.
What did you, other than chasing boys, did you like to, did you,
Wasn't very domestic, if that's what you're
no,
asking.
but did you jump rope? Did you play with dolls? What did you do as a
Well, every doll I ever got, Buzz poked the eyes out. Something he was.
There was one, well, you had one that
Yeah.
supposedly had a candy.
Raggedy
Yeah, I
Ann.
had a Raggedy Ann
Raggedy Ann.
doll.
And a candy
That-
heart.
Had a candy heart and he chewed it out. Oh, and but we got older, and then in high school I was in Campfire Girls, and I could draw
That's where she
and
learned
that
to
sort
love.
of thing, and so they'd get me to go uptown and draw pictures out of the windows if we wanted to make something.
Oh,
I can-
really?
Yeah.
So you started drawing, when you were really young and just always drew.
Well, yeah, after a fashion. But I can remember that our campfire teacher sending us uptown to draw something we were going to make, and we needed a pattern.
So there's a lot of raisins in the campfire.
That's where your love of raisins.
Yeah.
So your dad was actually born in Maryland, wasn't he?
No, his parents were.
Oh, I always thought he was.
No,
We're both second generation.
Yeah.
no.
No, third. Well,
Yeah,
second generation of.
yeah.
being
Yeah, I don't know
born.
whether
Somehow I
they're-
thought he had been born in Maryland.
Yeah, I don't know whether my grandparents were married before they came over or after they got over. But my grandma was from County Carlow, which is right by Wexford, which was where his
Mm-hmm.
family came, my grandpa came from. And I
Did they
guess
come? Did you know where they came?
they were going to California. And my dad was born in Ripon, Wisconsin.
Ripon?
Ripon, which must be near, what is that city in Wisconsin? Green Bay.
What was it?
And so then they ran out of money, on their way then they got to Ackley. And then I guess my grandfather was a drinker. Anyhow, he must have a stroke or a sunstroke or something. But Buzz said Grandpa drank and died at about 30.
That's
And
young.
then my grandma finally, she came on down and finally married a guy named Kelly. See, she'd first been married to a Kennedy, and then to a Kelly, who was a very stern man at that time. Because my dad said his mother never spoke a cross word to them in his whole life. But the stepfather.
Yeah, Matt thought that all children were angels.
And we were.
He wouldn't believe a child could do wrong. Murder his kids in the town. They weren't bad, they were just ordinary.
When did you first meet Dick when he came
First year I was in Eldorado. We moved into a house, a double house, which was called the family house. It was a big old brick house that was divided into two apartments, I guess you'd call it, upstairs and downstairs. And it was just a block from their neighbors living in that house. And I met the boy who, I don't know if you could say, was her boyfriend at that time. But That's a pretty broad statement when you're 12 or 13 years old. But I was very lonely when I got to Alberta. I was really lonely. And,
You were how old again?
12.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty rough time.
Yeah,
I
be
was down
transplanted.
from Lumberyard. My father managed to live in Lumberyard there. And Rod McCusker came along with his air rifle shooting sparrows. And we struck up a friendship, which was endured for a long time. And then he knew Meg. And her neighbor across the street at that time was a girl named Helen Carlson. And so Rod, Meg, Helen Carlson and I sort of paired off, I guess you could say. I don't know.
They would bring us candy bars.
At age 12?
Well, probably 13. But
They probably stole them.
Did you steal them, Dick?
Rod would bring one to you. Right?
Uh-huh.
And Dad
And
would
they
bring
could
one to
bring
Thelma.
them to Thelma.
I don't know how I ever had money to buy candy.
And our little
Yeah.
brothers were tagging along behind us.
Always.
Always.
Dale Buzz.
You didn't like the Lumb Brothers?
Nice little
Like-
brother.
Yeah, that's little brothers at that age.
We played Truth and Consequences over on the schoolyard, sitting on the thing under the, oh, what do you call it, cement thing,
Retaining wall.
under the
Retaining wall.
retaining wall, under the street light.
What sort of questions would you ask?
I have no idea.
Who do you love?
Oh, no, that would be too yucky.
I had no idea, because you didn't tell the truth, you had to take the consequences. Of course, that was the fun.
Yeah.
taking the consequences.
Or think it up.
So then you really knew each other all through your...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were best friends always, even if you thought I was a brat.
That's
Dad?
what he
Yeah.
said.
Uh-huh. Dick,
Yeah.
But she grew out of it pretty well by the time she was in high school. Except she wouldn't take advice.
Oh,
So when did you and Thelma swap boyfriends? When did
No,
the
didn't
swap occur?
Oh.
Thelma moved to the farm. Well, actually, I didn't know Meg as
I just kind of changed my mind on him. I just kind of kept going with Rod. And Dick went to college. They both went to college and roomed together, weren't they?
yeah, they did. One semester.
And Rod worked so hard, poor thing, at the oil station. I'd say, can Dick, do you suppose Dick would do this or that with me? And he'd, sure. He would. And then I just finally decided that that's who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Then I went after tooth and nail.
She chased me till I caught her.
I've been interested though that when you talked about high school, that you guys had quite a classical education in Eldora High.
Oh, yeah.
You had Latin.
Latin,
Did you
French.
Latin?
Yeah, I'd laugh.
How many years?
I had 2 years of Latin and 2 years of French.
Was it mandatory?
Not
Some
French.
foreign language, I think, if you were going to take an academic course.
Oh, so you had that
Yeah.
choice.
And you can take academic, or I think they call it commercial.
Yeah, the gal who taught the French also taught history. And she insisted on speaking French in her history
Oh,
class.
wow, really?
It was
yeah.
really her first language.
And
I mean, she'd grown up.
and you
Mystic
jolly
Isle.
well better know what she was talking about.
Really?
She grew up in Mystic Isle, and it was French. And her parents spoke only French in their home. She grew up speaking French. Her grammar wasn't always perfect, but boy, her accent was okay. And she would rattle it out in our French classes. We were not allowed to touch speak English. We had to stand in French. And I was pretty good vocabulary at that time, but you know, I don't use it for 60 or 70 years. No good.
But you still impress me when you try to speak a word of French that you remember.
Well, as much I'd like to remember that I don't. If I were in an environment where I used it once in a while, it would help.
What was her first name? That was Pyrol something. Her
Secondly,
surname was Pyrol. She flunked me once in history because
Conjugating your verbs wrong or something. Using the wrong gender.
no, I
wrong.
let a past copy a paper, and so she flunked us both.
Pest was who again?
Esther Meakin.
What were your grades like in high school?
I belong to the National Honor Society.
You belong to the Honor Society?
Yeah.
National Honor
I did.
Society. I think there were 8 in our class that made the Honor Society. Glenn Button was the highest, and I was the lowest.
But you made it.
But I mean, Glenn's dead and you are.
That's right.
That's right. See what good it did then.
Well, you know, the thing is, that all the potential he had, he went back to his father's farm. He never went to college or anything else. But of course, he had a pretty good farm over in Grundy County.
Not a bad place to
Not a
be
bad
from.
place to be a farmer.
That thing's still going.
Yeah.
We'll turn it off.
Yeah, it'll turn itself on.
It will.
So anyway, Mike started talking about when you know, start
Oh, I was just
seeing each
wondering.
other better.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you, because I mean, if you met at 12 or
Oh, yeah, we
something
met.
like that, then you really knew each other all the way through
Yeah.
your adolescence.
Oh,
And,
I knew every girl he ever fell in love with and
oh yeah, you were like good.
held his hand. And
That's right, you were going to tell us all about all of his loves.
We knew everything about each other. If we had any trouble after marriage, it wouldn't be because we didn't know each other beforehand.
How did you let Dick know that you had suddenly decided to go after him? And
Well,
she was
if-
a little too subtle, if that was the
no, I
idea.
wouldn't have been subtle if you would have been home the night. There was one night his mother had a program at the Congregational Church, and they sang wedding songs and things. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, kind
And I went with my mother, and I got home, and I thought, he's it. I'm in love with him.
Oh.
And I called him up, and he wasn't there. He gulped.
it's lucky because then the
I would have told
telephone
him.
operator would have told everybody.
of. It could be.
But I probably would have, if I'd have gotten you that night, I probably would have said, I've decided I was in love with you, because that's when I had, that was it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Did I sing in that program?
Yeah,
What did I sing?
I don't know, because or something.
Oh.
Maybe it wasn't
I don't
because,
think so.
but it was some wedding song. It was something really romantic.
Isn't that called an epiphany, sort of?
Yeah, an epiphany.
You got an
You had
epiphany.
an
I did.
Yes.
It was a sheep tiffany, I guess.
Well, I remember that you've mentioned about having scavenger hunts and things.
Oh, yeah. We didn't call them scavengers. What did we call them?
Treasure?
I don't know. We'd go all over the countryside.
Yeah, that was when we were going together the year before we were married, and we kind of ran around with this gang. That's when I started drinking and stuff. And I could swallow anything, and then I just immediately throw up. Spend the whole evening walking me around Eldora. My folks never found out. My dad wouldn't have believed it anyhow.
Was this after high school?
Oh yeah, the year before we were married. But
Oh.
so these people had scavenger hunts, and they'd have it all over the county.
Yeah,
And
didn't call
they
them
were,
scavengers.
some of them were married, but they liked to divide
You
up.
get
you know.
you get a list of clues. And it would say, such and such is.
Their
And
steamboat.
you go, you get your first clue and you go there, you hunt, if you found it, then you go on your second clue.
Treasure.
Yeah,
It
we
takes
saw
most of the
those.
night to do it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they'd say, you and Dick can go, we're gonna have another, and I'd say, not unless we can go together. No, you can't. And they would say all the time, and I'd say, well, then we won't go.
Ah,
And then by that Saturday night, they would let us go together in the same car. I wasn't gonna spend a night, he came home from Waterloo, riding in the car with somebody else.
you were out of college and working in
Yeah.
Waterloo by then, right?
Yeah,
And,
But you dated while he was at Ames, right?
not really much.
Not really
Oh,
I
dating.
come home and we had all the dates. I mean,
Yeah. When you come home and you took me to a dance or
Yeah.
something down
Yeah.
at the Signal New House
Yeah,
once.
we went to our spring dance. So,
Yeah.
one of my friends was do his best to get her in a compromising position.
Yeah, and is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
He got me out of the car and just came innocently wondering after, oh, I wondered where you were. I don't know how you did it, but I was
I
going
knew
to
when
get
you
scared
left the
pretty
room.
soon. Yeah.
I wasn't left you there that long. By that time, I had a sort of proprietary interest in
What fraternity were you in?
Signal.
Sigma Nu.
Mhm.
Is that still at Ames?
Oh, yeah.
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 And what did you major in?
Well,
Girls.
Making beer in the bathtub, I think.
no, I majored in geology, which was a mistake because at that time the geology department consisted of two men. The head of the department, who was a very brilliant mineralogist, but lazy as the day was long. And the other was a meteorologist. And he was a funny little guy. But that was their geology department at that time. And so I didn't get a very good geology education, really. If I'd have known more about possibilities earlier, if I'd have started out in industrial science and had a chance to look it over. See, I didn't change to that until my junior year. I was going to be a mining engineer. Then they cut that out.
Oh, I didn't know
So,
that.
well, I probably couldn't have made it anyway. So it's just as well.
You would have ended up in northern Minnesota.
Yeah, something. But when I got out of school, there was no demand for geologists, I'll tell you that, especially not geologists graduating from Iowa State University, college at that time. So I never pursued that very long. I tried. And, down on the coast of Geodetic, when they were running a survey around Hillsborough. And that consisted mainly of digging deep holes, burying
Making markers.
markers.
Ah, we still see those on lots.
Well, they still do
Oh,
that.
do you?
I mean, they still do
They
that.
still
Oh, yeah.
do they?
Well, I don't know what they're doing in any news. I suppose they are. Eventually, it was supposed to be a grid of the
Yeah.
whole country. But now it's all electronic. I don't really need that anymore. Really. But it was partly for location. I mean, starting with a known level,
Right.
then you could determine every level in that area, and then go on from there. And eventually, they would cover the whole United States. How much of that has been done, I don't know.
I think quite a bit, because I think we've seen it out
Just you
west.
find them. Well, also you're out walking in the woods and find these markers, and they're indicated on
Brass
topographic maps. They're marked. You see the locations of it on those government maps.
So you do that in what area?
round over.
Just around the other way.
I thought you did some down to Iowa City.
That was plain table surveying.
Oh,
I did that. But that was with the Geologic Society. It's the Geologic
Geological survey.
Survey, yeah.
That's the maps.
Mhm.
And you went to business school
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids.
for how long?
2
For
years.
a year.
That was 2 years. It's 2 years.
Well, a school year. And lived with Helen Roberts.
And your teddy bear.
No,
Well,
my
it's-
doll.
Doll.
Oh, your doll.
Which Helen to this day hates.
Helen to this day talks about Sarah. That was my doll. Rod had given it to me. It was one of these awful long doll things. I don't know where I ever got it. I mean, where he ever got it, but I would sleep with that doll, and she would get so sick of it being in bed. She
Oh, you
throw it
shared a
down the
bed?
basement. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, we shared one room, and she'd throw it down the cellar steps.
That's when you first knew her. When did you know her?
Yeah, we
Oh,
were
I
in the
guess,
same
yeah.
grade at school.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, when you went up to Cedar Rapids, that was quite a ways for you to go off from home, probably.
It was.
Was it really exciting to get away from home, or did you feel kind of homesick?
I don't remember. We both worked for our meals in a tea room, and that was across from this funeral home for, and I didn't know it at the time, and that he was going to be famous at Grant Wood had his studio behind the
Oh,
church.
really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
because Pat Patterson at that time was going to Cole, and he had been down to this Grant Wood studio behind
The carriage house. For
the
the,
carriage house.
Yeah. How did you know Pat Patterson?
He's our
I didn't know
very
him
good
then.
friend.
But Hugh
Well, I know.
Patterson.
Oh, you mean you didn't know
I
him
didn't
then?
know him
didn't
then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, I knew who he is. I
But-
thought you knew him back
Yeah,
then, and I couldn't
no.
figure out how you knew him.
We didn't know Pat really until he came back from the Navy. Megan and Ellen had been friends while he was in the Navy. I didn't know who he was, but I didn't know him until when he came back. Then we got together with him.
So what did you and Helen do to get into trouble?
Well, she wasn't the kind that got into trouble very much. We worked at this place for our meals, and some guy wanted me to go over to, who worked at the funeral home, wanted me to go over to the funeral home, and I was just scared because I had a boyfriend in El. No.
You haven't gotten married yet. We haven't gotten you married yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you
had
not
your-
ever get married?
No, I
Haven't had your dental emergency yet. One of the great wedding night stories.
We were
I
married,
didn't know what that was.
married in 1935, on October the 26th. That's a long time ago.
It is, you weren't kidding.
And it was a very small wedding. Mike's folks and my folks and Buzz.
Where did it take place?
In the
In
church
Waterloo.
parlor over
First
here.
Presbyterian Church.
Oh.
Yeah,
I did not.
because Dick already had the job of singing soloist over here.
Well, we didn't. If we had an outdoor, Mike's mother would have wanted a great big wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Which we couldn't
Neither
afford
we couldn't
anyway.
afford it. Neither of us really wanted it.
Well, and the Catholics couldn't have come.
No, that's
My
right.
dad
At that time,
did come, but
yeah, your dad would come anyhow. Father Murtaugh, he probably would have come too. He used
he
to come.
wouldn't come. He'd been
He used to come
invited.
and sit in our church once in a while.
Yeah.
Father Murtaugh?
Yeah.
The priest?
He
Yeah.
was the priest at Eldora.
He's a great man.
Oh, he was wonderful.
But
He used to come down
your
to-
church?
No, he didn't attend it.
Oh.
There
Oh.
was some special event.
He'd
Oh,
come
I
to
see.
funerals
But at that
and
time,
funerals.
it was almost a sin for a Catholic to sit in a Protestant church,
Hmm.
for whatever reason.
He was just ahead of his time.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
Way
He'd
ahead.
play bridge down at our house with Mom and Dad and Uncle Tom and Uncle Frank or me or whoever would play. And when Dick was sick that time, you were quite
really
small,
sick.
Yeah.
when he was going to die. Pattersons thought he did die when they were up the afternoon that he was going down to die, and somebody came up, their daughter was up getting her tonsils out, and they said, well, Dick Boyd died. And then when they came downstairs, he had survived again and come back. But anyhow, when Dick was real sick, I'd written Father Murtaugh and told him that Dick was so sick and to please say a prayer for him. And he came down to see him.
Hmm.
And by that time, he was getting a little better. And then and he was so glad and everything. And he went back to Ackley, where he was a priest. And the next week, he was brought back with a heart attack.
Hmm.
And was just real
He died before that.
bad. And then the next thing we knew, the nurse came in and said, your friend has expired. Do you want to see him?
Oh.
And that was the first time I'd ever seen anybody after they had died, but before they were. And there were candles by his bed. And
Oh,
it was just
really?
really beautiful.
Hmm.
And because they must have, fixed him that way. But he was such a great man.
So you had this little tiny wedding, and we won't go into all the details of that night, but
There were.
what happened? What's the big thing that happened?
Right after.
My face.
Well, we had We had breakfast, which Meg and I paid for the immediate family. And she had 2 maids of honor. So
Which is Thelma and Louise.
Buzz was my best man. And then we took them all to breakfast, and then we went home. And we went out to buy furniture that afternoon.
Spend what money we
And what
had.
little we had left, which we did, I think we
We bought a dish pan and your desk that's in there.
Yeah.
That was it, and a desk chair, which is broken
The
once.
apartment that we had built a kitchen, breakfast nook in the kitchen. And Kelly, what do you call it, bed,
Murphy bed.
came on the closet. And so we didn't have to have much furniture because when the bed was down, there was no room in the living
Is
room.
this
Right.
on
So,
the veranda?
But that
Yeah.
afternoon we
No,
spent
this
at
was
the
on the-
dentist.
This was on Jefferson.
Yeah, it's
1301
gone
Jefferson.
now, and I always wanted to take a picture of that building, you know,
Well,
say,
they
this
tore-
is
they
where
tore it
we were,
down.
our honeymoon, this is where I lost my virginity. Not right away, 'cause every time Dick got close to me, I cried.
She had this tooth. Oh, she was really in agony.
That was some headache.
I didn't know whether it was going to last or not. I'll tell you.
Oh, jeez. So that happened right that
Yes,
afternoon?
that
Yes.
afternoon. For
And,
a week afterwards.
and the old, nice old dentist that came, Hildebrand, who, dentist didn't go on Saturday afternoons, but he did come, and he
They
looked
made
at
house
my...
calls?
No, no, no.
No, Dick
went
took
down.
me to the
I called
office.
Oh, you came to
Yeah,
the
I didn't bring her down.
And he took one look at my jaw and he said, "You've been in the hands of the Philistines." I can remember that exact quote. And
What was that supposed to mean?
mean that I'd been
She
mistreated by
had
the
wretched
dentist.
jealousy.
Oh, I see.
And
The guy who took care of her also took care of my mother, and he was a fraud. He was absolutely a fraud. I had Doc Harrell, and he was strange, but he was very fair down. Then I had Doc Adams, who was...
the
didn't
drunk,
like him
but
very
he
well.
was a good dentist.
He drank a little and he chewed tobacco. People didn't like him very well, but he was an awfully good dentist. I still have some of his work in my mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, he was really a good dentist.
You were working for a lumber company here?
That was a wholesale lumber.
Wholesale.
Yeah. Worked out of an office. Just they'd go out and sell the car lumber, then you come back and we'd order it from some mill house and ship it.
Oh.
All we had was paper, actually.
I didn't realize.
But then he fired Dick when you were just a baby. And we were just destitute because our folks didn't have any money. There was just
Yeah.
nobody to...
We finally, that's when I went to work for Ross. Here we were,
After a while.
a year-old son and a wife and no future. So I went down to Les, and fortunately, I had some in because I knew Rusty Coffin.
Great name.
He's Attorney Brothers, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he pulled a few strings, and Douglas Donald was a Presbyterian, and so Douglas finally said, "Will you come down on such and such a day to where they did the hiring?" And I did. I think I went down 2 days. The second day, I got called. You went to work in the Home Depot.
But it must have been it seemed like a long time we were out of job.
About a year, I think. Almost.
Really?
Oh, it couldn't have been
you
that
were
long.
out of the job for about a year.
Well, it was quite a while.
It seemed a long time, but
Oh,
What
that's
did you
when
live
What did you
on?
do?
Warners were real good to us.
Yeah.
This Dorothy Warner who's
Yeah.
coming up to your show. No,
I
it
guess
wasn't
probably
that.
not come many years.
No, heavens,
I
no.
don't
It was probably more than a couple of months, if that.
It was too long, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We must have had a little bit, well, he gave me some severance pay, I remember that. Maybe a month's pay or something. Which wasn't very much money, but uptight and sober. And as she says, the Warner's were awful good to us. About the only people we really knew very well at that time.
So
You
this
said-
is 36,
38, let's see.
That was 37.
37.
When did you start singing a lot? Because you mentioned you were singing at the Presbyterian church.
Yeah, well, I've
From the
been
day we
singing
were
since I was
married.
12 years old. I started out a voice sopranos. And then I got to be a tenor, and then but it slipped off the class. The voice check. I sang solo at First Church for years. I just gave it up about probably 15 years ago, solo work.
Did you do any solo work when you were in high school?
Yes, I sang in college. I did the night show every year I was there, I think.
What was
We always
that?
did a musical.
Oh, music.
I think I was even more.
Did you sing solos or in groups or
Well,
both?
both. I always got character parts. I never got to be the lead. And I was a bass baritone. Tenors always get the lead.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed character parts, really. I think it's more fun than being doing the lead.
Did you ever do anything like Gilbert and
A
Sullivan?
lot of them.
You did?
Cards, Penzance, and Mikado.
Could you sing it that as fast as you have to sing it?
I could do that then. I haven't heard it. I remember the words anyway.
It's always just astonishing to
Amazing.
me how fast.
Well, you get so you can do that. I mean, I couldn't possibly do it,
Yeah,
but I could do it.
and we would sing them in the class sometimes.
Yeah. I never got to do the solos in the side until I got to Guadalupe.
Mhm.
Because they always had solos committed down at school. Anyway, Ralph McRae usually sang the bass parts, and he had a good friend named Drake, who I thought was terrible. His voice was one of these
Too much.
tenor voices, just full of vibrato.
Yeah.
My mother sang, one year sang the contralto parts of the side at Iowa State College.
Oh, really?
But it really wasn't in her range. She
Who
was
would like
that's
a
all.
brownie?
Oh, that sounds good.
There are brownies in the
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
of my pantry.
It's almost happy hour time.
Yeah.
Hey,
It is?
yeah, it's back
All
around.
right.
I don't want a brownie. Do you want one bigger?
I certainly do.
I am a cook.
Yum.
So you didn't work when Michael was living?
Heavens, no. Women didn't get jobs outside the home.
Was he born a month after you were married? Was that it?
1 year, 1 month, and 1 day.
Oh, 1 year, 1 month. And
Uh-huh.
Well, that was some abscess.
It's about the same with Margaret, right?
Yes.
A year and a month.
No, it was 11 months.
Wait.
We were married in August. and he
Oh,
was
right.
born in
Oh, yeah,
July.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I didn't have an abscess, so
Right, fair.
if I had gotten that abscess tooth, you know, it would have slowed things down. a little bit. So what? So you didn't work at all while Mike was living. And then you left. When did you move to that house on that little house there?
On the street. That was
Yeah,
our
West
third.
First.
West.
That was our fourth
Oh.
move. On West
That-
First.
Yeah.
That was our third.
That was after we knew Kelson's, and Dave said one time when we were together, I know a house that you get with no down payment, no more rent than you're paying now, which was $29 a month. I said, well, take it.
Says you
He
won't like
said,
it.
no, you won't like it. He said, I just know about it because the Fickies had bought this their house and they wanted the back end of this lot. And so I said, yeah, we'll take it. So we went to look at it, and it was
It's pretty disreputable.
a nice location and everything. That was $2,900 or $2,700, and Dave made like we had paid $200 down on it.
We wrote it up for $29.50 or something, so it looked like we made it down payment.
Huh.
So we got it for the rent. And I've never paid a down payment. I actually never paid a down payment because when we moved Congress Street, we used that house for
Collateral.
yeah, collateral.
And that's how most people
No,
actually
no,
do
that's
it. It's not a-
Or the Independence Avenue, we used that house for collateral. Used that house for this.
Is this one paid for now?
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Made the last payment on this house the year I retired.
Oh,
really?
really? So you really had it worked out?
The little house on West First Street is a real nice house.
Yeah, it
Was it
is.
in real bad shape or what?
It was in terrible shape
Was
when
it?
we moved in.
It had the blackest basement you've ever seen in your
I do
life.
remember the basement was pretty primitive.
And you and I used to set Pat up on the one step below the top because when you set him there and looked at him in a certain spot, his eyes looked green.
Red.
Red. And we put him there, and then,
Like The Exorcist or something.
huh?
Like a character from The Exorcist. Or,
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
experimenting.
So Pat was born when you moved
Lived
to that.
in West
house.
First Street. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one we really planned on.
Oh, you
Or
planned
work.
him, how nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we, wanted to get
Yeah.
pregnant.
When did you have that big white dog? That might,
Well, it only is big in my memory, and I don't think she was white. She maybe was
Oh, you mean
lady.
lady,
And
yeah.
she was
I occasionally
brindle,
gave her
brindle of white.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
was that over on
a
West
bull.
First?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this awful neighbor poisoned her. We knew who poisoned her, but there was nothing to do about it.
You have to catch him in the act or food
Mm.
poisoning.
And you were
Had-
so little and watched her die.
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
can see
Yeah.
it.
Terrible death. Terrible.
Poisoning is awful. isn't it?
Strychnine, yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's a terrible death.
Mm.
I remember,
And we got one other dog.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
dog
Thunder.
that liked to dig holes and it
We
liked
We didn't
to
have that dog very long.
No,
Uh-oh,
I
it liked to dig holes in Joe Smith's yard.
and garden. We gave her to
Kanglings out in the country.
out in the country.
Oh,
Yeah, where we went that time to
Yeah.
stay and you
Yeah.
watched him
castrated pigs.
castrate pigs.
Dad and,
And, Gay.
Gay, castrating pigs, growing their little
Oh,
We walked
doodads in
behind
a
legs.
pile, and brother.
Yeah,
and you were so
sniffing them.
tender-hearted anyhow. It was terrible
And
for
put a ring
you.
in their nose, right?
Yeah.
So-
Did we do that at that time? I
Well,
can't
that's,
quite
that's how I
remember.
remember it.
Well, it could be.
Isn't it? I thought that's what you did with, isn't that kind of a marker?
It could be. I don't remember.
I seem to
I
remember.
remember the castrating.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good sized piglets. And
Oh.
I struggled with them for some reason.
That was terrible. I remember when reading books to you, you'd get to a certain place in every book where something sad happened, and you'd cry just as we got there.
It's always wanted that story. What was it about a little dog? Was it?
Yeah, there was one about a dog, and something sad happened.
Huh.
Every time we'd get right there, you'd start weeping. And we had that one book called Rags, Tags, and Obadiah.
Oh, yeah.
And Henry Ficky's always call it Obadiah.
Yeah.
Well, the pickies were,
Every night they got whipped.
every night they got whipped.
Every day my mother would say to him, "You wait till your father gets home. You're going to get a whipping."
And they did.
So they knew they were going to get a whipping. So why is there any incentive to be good?
Well, they'd probably, somebody would call
Child
some
abuse, yeah.
agency and
Maybe
report
not.
them for child abuse.
And they've done this.
Well, she took care of that little kid for somebody and tied him to a chair out in the middle of the, tied him to a little chair and table out in the backyard. And he would cry. And Mrs. Protein, what was her name?
Protein.
Protein.
What's their name?
Hi,
It
Protein.
began with P.
On the corner.
Yeah, on the corner. And she and I would go out there, she would have a fit. She wanted to call the police and I should have let her. Because she said nobody ought to treat that child like that.
That is awful.
It is amazing, how
Yeah.
things have changed that way.
Well, I remember once, you told me, I thought this was a wonderful story, Megan. When you lived in that little house on maybe Congress Street, was it?
Yeah,
That
first,
little tiny one, that you and somebody hated to do laundry and so
Oh,
forth.
sure.
So you would wash sheets from the
That's
litter
his
closet.
Dorothy Warner who's coming up for the next show. She just dip her sheet in water and hang it out on the line.
so people
So the
think-
Francis Hilby would think that she washed it. And we would sit inside our house out the window. Francis would be scrubbing her windows in the wintertime, you know.
They wash the windows
All
every
the
month,
time.
winter, summer.
And we'd sit inside watching her and thinking how dumb she was to be so careful.
Yeah, that's right, that house was before the one of was first.
Yeah.
Was that the house where Pat was born also?
No, he wasn't born there. There wasn't room for 3 of us, let alone 4. No, he was born on West First Street.
I guess.
So that's why we finally left there, got too small for the 4 of
Because,
us.
yeah, because he's about 5 years younger than I am, so and I can remember the big 5. I was going to kindergarten.
Yes.
So that's a
You didn't think much of
And-
kindergarten.
No, you didn't.
Huh?
Do you remember the first day of kindergarten?
No,
I was
no,
pregnant
not really.
with Pat, and I walked the block to take you over to school and deposited you in kindergarten. You came home, and I'd barely gotten home when you came
It
back.
came
Well,
back.
I've been there.
He'd been to school, he didn't care for it.
So did he go the next day?
I had to
Yeah,
walk
I
him
think
back, and he went the next day. Yeah, when we got it settled down, that you have to do that every day.
I can remember quite a bit about kindergarten, actually. More than some of the later years, but I guess that does make a big impression. I remember when Gordon Pickles went to school, I was real impressed. He seemed so old and mature. 'Cause
Oh.
when he started kindergarten,
Is that right?
because he must have been a year.
He's
so
a year
old,
older than you.
Yeah.
He's
Warren
dead,
was
too.
a little younger.
Warren's a year younger.
And Gordon is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, very
He got killed in a plane accident.
Oh, I probably knew that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
helicopter, I think.
Oh.
Oh.
But I remember when he went off to school and seemed ready to.
I remember in kindergarten, your teacher was so impressed that I don't know how I remembered. I don't remember the teacher, but you had made little table setting knives and
Yeah,
forks and
dishes.
And she thought it was so wonderful for anybody that young to make those.
Kindergarten, first grade, he was in the play.
When I was Little Black Samba.
Yeah.
That must have been maybe first grade
First,
or
second grade, I think.
we made all my costumes.
Did you have to have black paint?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I still remember this
Who'd
big
dare
fat
do that
stick of
nowadays?
brown grease paint that we had. Must have been from that.
Huh.
Did you have to sing or
Big
just
fat stick of it like lipstick on a huge big fat. I don't know what I had to do. I just
Story
remember
was
getting to dress up and have
I'm not even sure if they did or whether it was just a narration that they played part of it. I can't remember.
There's pictures of that somewhere.
Are there? I haven't seen it.
Oh.
What, Dick, when you first went to Rasley, you didn't work in the office?
No, I started in the smoke meat department.
Smoked meat, so you came on smelling like a ham, huh?
I
You
sure
really
did.
did.
That's where.
Especially during that strike. Oh,
During the strike, I wasn't in the smoke meat department.
you came back smelling.
Well, that's when the bad strike,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had to go work in the plant again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked in the kiln, the cut. I didn't work in the smoke meat part of that time. But we did a lot of different jobs. Depending on how many hogs we handled.
When did you start working in the office?
Well, I started in the superintendent's office about more than a year after I started RAS. Rusty called me and put me in the test clerk department. That was school figure costs. And I worked with Charlie Grove. He was a wonderful man. He was an old man then, I suppose. 50.
About our age.
but much older than you are at that age. I mean, he was. But he's just a great guy. I corresponded with him. He retired and went down and went over to Ames to his daughter or something. Anyhow, I worked in that for, I don't know, a couple of years. And then they had the see this outfit come in to set up the cost. No, I don't know. I went from test clerk over to the provision department, which is the place that buys the hogs or the hams or whatever they do the buying of all the meat products and animals. And I worked in there for a couple of years, I guess, maybe a little more. Then when the war was over, all the boys came back, and I hadn't been in the Army, so I didn't have any seniority thing. But one of the guys wanted my job, so I went back to test clerk department.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went from there into the cost department. I stayed until I retired.
When you first started working, like at RAS, how much would you make?
Oh, well, probably $20 to $25. I remember I think Meg has told you that. The first week, I worked one time before Christmas. Usually Christmas
Easter.
is a big time. Was it Easter? Anyhow, it was a big push on hams. And I worked, I was there from 6 o'clock in the morning to 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Came home with a check for $36. And I said to Mary, she said to me, gee, if we just have that much money every week, we'd never have to work. It just seemed like so much money.
Well, I'm sure it was at least worth 10 times as much as this now.
Well,
At least because I think even from the 50s, this money's devalued at least that much. So that
Well, yeah, because I make $40 a week as a secretary at RAS when I started working there in the 50s. And now I make $40 in less than 3 hours.
Wow, do you really well? You do
You do special work.
very specialized.
Well, I get paid low for coming in. I mean, so that's, that kind of difference. What money means is very confusing.
But whenever we talk about what you could buy for that,
Oh yeah, we go
You know.
down to the grocery store and for $5 we buy all the groceries we use for a week.
$5.
so
Well,
now
it wasn't anything extra in that.
yeah. But now, could you buy the same stuff for 50?
Oh, I think so.
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah. Because we weren't too concerned with quality at that time. You go to Cat's Market and get 3,000 hamburger for a quarter or something like that. It wasn't the best meat,
But if you use it
yeah,
in something
a lot of hot
requiring
tamale pie.
strong.
Hot tamale pie, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that. That's why we make always prepared
Serve
when
for
we had
company.
Yeah,
I
we did
love
too
that.
when we first got
You
married.
taught me how to make that. That's one of the
Well, I
first
love
things
it too. We haven't had it for years.
No, we
We
haven't
haven't
either.
either, and I really do like it.
We
You've
had
mentioned
some
it
not
every
very
now and
long ago, sweetie.
Didn't we?
Yes. So you just forgot.
Seems like only
I
yesterday.
shouldn't have forgotten because it must have been a unique experience.
Which you said at the time.
And then you were living on Coder Street.
Yeah,
In the little house.
The big
in
house.
big house.
The big house.
So you lived two
Well, yeah,
places.
after West First.
Yeah, is that where Matt was born?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well,
No, Matt was
Yeah,
born in
yeah,
the big
we're talking
house.
the big
on
house.
Concord.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's the one we're talking about. That's the one you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Pat and Matt were both born in here.
Oh, were they both?
Yeah. Mike was born
Where
in
was
Old
that?
Presbyterian,
Oh.
which is gone long
Oh.
since.
I thought one of them might have been born in Allen.
I should know. I paced the hall out there.
Well, I
Yeah.
remember telling my friends when I was in junior high school, and we were sitting in the maid right across from junior high having lunches, and I told my friends that I had a new baby brother.
Which was who?
Well, Matt, that was in junior high school.
Oh,
That's
So I can
when
remember that.
That's when you
yeah, I
down in the city
remember I
hall.
was a little embarrassed when I got pregnant with Matt. Wondering what you would think. And I finally said to you something like, what would you think if we had another baby? And you said, well, it's fine.
Yeah.
When was it that Maribel started living at your house?
Well, quite a while after Dad died, maybe 3 years after he died. Was it when Matt was little? No.
No,
No,
before he was
it
born.
was, yeah,
Because when
before
Pat
he
and I were
was
little
born.
kids, and we lived in
And
a
she would
condo.
take you to
yeah.
a movie on Sundays quite often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
right, I
they used to have
remember that.
movies downtown and
Yeah.
buses that ran and stuff.
Had wonderful bus service out there.
Oh, I know. Yeah. You can just walk out anytime,
Yeah.
wait for a bus and get a
15
bus.
minutes going,
Yeah.
going both ways. I mean,
Yeah. It's amazing. You just took it for granted though, didn't
Yeah.
you? And the buses
Yes.
were always,
10 cents.
well, they were tokens.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
buy,
As I remember.
buy so many tokens for $1.
Right.
12 for $1.
And there were always lots of people on the buses. My image of
Yeah.
buses was they were always
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
And the buses ran all the time. And you didn't have a car, and I mean, there were a lot of people did, but there weren't nearly as many cars. I mean, the
No,
place wasn't
no, no.
choked with cars.
Well, you didn't need the car there as much.
Yeah, you didn't really.
You could take a train to go to Chicago, you could take buses around town.
Well, you still can take buses from Chicago here.
Yeah. Some people
Right
can.
now.
Yeah, it's all hard to get a bus to take you downtown. That's the problem.
Yeah, I used to take a bus to work all the time, even after I worked out, or even after we moved to this house.
Yeah.
Because Marion Malloy always took the bus in the morning, and the fat nurse over to Old St. Francis, who we like, Virginia Hill,
Uh-huh.
and the bus driver was a friend, and we talked, all of us, all the way to downtown.
Yeah, that's
It was,
really
it was just a real nice happening every morning.
That's
The
nice.
bus driver brought me those weeds out there, or you call them weeds, the ferns that you hated.
Oh, yeah.
I love
I
ferns.
liked them too.
If you'd like to take you home, then
Oh, I will.
you will. Okay. I'll do
Don't
that.
take it serious, but we have plenty of friends. There's nowhere to put any more
Okay,
time.
no ferns. But anyway, at some point, Maribel got remarried, and you all went out to visit Buzz
Yeah,
out on the East Coast.
yeah.
I was about 11 or 12, so that was
Yeah.
Before
She
that.
married this little man she didn't like very well either.
You never did either.
But he was, I remember
And-
her telling me how he was a real gentleman, and he took her out, and he'd come open the door to car for her. And
She used to
She
say
thought
he was
Francis
a
was-
lot politer than your father, which made me so furious that I couldn't like him. And she didn't either the minute she married him.
But he was sort of, he wasn't a bad guy. He was just sort of a non-entity.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad
He-
person.
my impression of him was that he was a little tight. When we went east, he carried his oil along with him. He stopped at an oil station, had some change of oil, but he furnished the oil.
Huh, is that right? I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah. It was Pat we lost on that trip, wasn't it?
Oh,
Oh,
You lost
yes,
that.
we,
We were in some place.
In-
That was after we were in New York. We'd gone to somewhere. Was it Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, when
Yeah.
Marie took us.
Yeah.
Don't you remember when we stopped looking in the window and got back in Marie's car and drove away, and then all at once,
yeah.
no Pat, and then we went back and he was still looking in the window.
And he missed us.
How old was he?
Well, he
Oh, he was
was
about-
very old.
7 or
Yeah.
Yeah,
something like that. If I was 11 or 12, what year that was
Yeah.
when,
um,
well,
He had a little propensity to
48,
get
Yeah.
involved.
47 or 48.
yeah, it was just after Dick got well from dying.
I was just, thinking when we were driving out here, kind of remembering about, thinking about that trip, how when you traveled on the roads in those days, and you didn't travel on interstates all the time, and you went on highways, through every town, and you went.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I think I remember we stayed at tourist rooms,
Oh, yeah.
We did.
and there was something about you actually being in a place when you traveled that way. And now, on the interstate,
You never see places.
you don't see,
You don't
or
know.
and you stay at the same Super 8 or whatever, the
You
same
got the
thing.
same
There's
hotel.
a total sameness to it all.
Yeah.
And you still, if you can remember even the late 40s, there was still a sense of specificity, about places, and you really felt like you were in a different place. Now you're just in the same place all the time.
Sure, and remember, we always looked at the Barnes mailbox
Uh-huh.
tobacco.
Yeah,
That
and
must
the,
have been in
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Well, and then the Pennsylvania
They still-
Turnpike seemed like a
That was
a
the,
real
Oh,
That was one of the
yeah.
first-
high-tech road.
Yeah.
Now it seems sort of quaint, but
it was really something.
and I remember I have a little picture of an incident on that trip. We must have been staying at a motel or someplace, and you and I took a little walk up a road that had been part of, and it was sort of we must have been in Pennsylvania because we were on, it must have been replaced by the turnpike somehow, because I think it was, did the Lincoln Highway, did that go through?
Highway 20 goes all the way from here.
That goes
to-
through New York, though,
Yeah,
near us, but we must have been, what was the Lincoln Highway?
30.
Where was that? Was that farther south?
East-west highway. Well, it goes through Cedar Rapids. It's south of 20, yeah.
So maybe that was it, because I remember you saying something about that. I just remember being in that place and walking up this road a little distance or something, with a fragment of an abandoned road or something. And I was wondering if we were in mountains. I was really curious about what mountains were, and you said we were, we were in mountains.
Huh.
And that was terrific.
How many of you were in what kind of car?
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? We all were in Frank's car.
Yeah.
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 Pat rode on the picnic basket at this side of the car,
Right.
and Mom and me, and then Frank
It's a lot of
and Dick
people.
and you, who you kept a note of every town we hit, and you were
He sat
busy
in the back seat
writing all
with you.
of it.
Drawing and stuff. I remember sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, he
Oh,
sat in
did
the
you?
back. He sat in the back seat
Behind
with, yeah,
Oh,
with you and Maribel.
oh, I don't remember that.
Sure. Frank and I sat in front.
What kind of car
I
did you
spelled him off.
I don't know.
Dodge or
I think Doug or I don't remember. Sure, it was-
Well, I remember
a
how,
Chrysler car, Chrysler motor car.
yeah.
while we were out there and lived on the beach in Marie's house, that you and Dick took a walk on the morning of Dick's birthday, and you found this root
Oh,
in
really?
the sand, and
For
we
heaven's
brought
sake.
it home.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous place.
Yeah, it
By the-
seems like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right on the beach.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it probably gone now with one of the
Did you go out
storms.
fishing
Think so.
out in the ocean?
We tried, we tried surf fishing.
They surf fish.
Buzz?
We did ride in a boat.
Yeah.
Buzz's
Oh, yeah.
friend's boat or something. Buzz had a boat, but it wasn't
Well,
running.
No, he had
we
the
got out of the
drift.
breakwater, but Maribel got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing she got sick, because I would have pretty soon, if
Was that
if
rocky
she hadn't
there?
have first and
Yeah.
wanted to go
He
back.
wasn't really
Pat went
all that
downstairs
rough, I
and
don't
laid
think.
down on his stomach
for
on
the
the
inlander.
thing, and never
It
heard
was pretty
anything.
rough. You know, a small boat,
Out.
you really get the full effect.
And then we were at that guy's house.
Were we?
Yeah, and it was fascinating because the house, the front door opened on the street, and then the back door opened on this
Dark.
canal where his boat was parked behind his house, and it was really quite amazing.
It was
Huh,
generated-
I don't
generated
remember
in
that
the-
at all.
Yeah.
And they come down this there, what a canal, where it was, and there were drawbridges all along the way. He honked his horn and the bridge up so they could go.
Because he had a mast? or-
Well, yeah, I suppose he had some kind of superstructure.
And I think you guys even swam in that right off.
This young beach.
Well, no, I'm thinking of right off that guy's. I remember
Yeah.
people jumping
Yeah,
into that. I don't
yeah.
think I did, but I remember people jumping into that canal or whatever it was. He's
I
swimming
don't-
right there.
I have no recollection. This friend of Buzz's, and the boat, but I have no remembrance of his house or anything else.
By that time, you'd already been really sick. wasn't you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's after
Yeah.
you doing You're dead.
When Mike was what, 12?
it. You were 12.
Well, the trip,
Yeah.
maybe I was 12,
You
When
must
I
have
was
been
sick.
11.
and well, I was at Longfellow School.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the age now.
I don't either. Pat, I remember Pat went to school. He must have been around the mother so much that he told them at school that his father was at death's door.
Oh, really?
He was. That was such a grown-up thing for
Well, he always
little
was a
kids
fancy
to
talker.
say.
Given to those.
But I think when Dick was at death's door, it was not so bad.
Well, that's pretty close.
But it wasn't that when you had a real nice vision?
Yeah, I did.
Can you remember any more what that was like? I remember you told about it.
Well, sort of. I can remember rushing. I don't remember what the conveyance was. I didn't have this light thing that they talk about so much. I was rushing through space or I don't know where. And then I wound up in a room which was in, I suppose you say, the high-tech room now. Anyhow, it was before I knew anything about television, and I watched what was going on back where I had been. And
People always
something-
say they do.
And something made me say, I can't stay, I've got to go back. And I guess that's must have been when I turned the corner and decided not to do that.
Yeah.
But it was quite vivid, and yet it isn't. I mean, it was an experience that was sort of mixed up with the whole scene, the whole experience of it. I can't describe it any more accurately than that.
And I'm glad you decided to come back.
I am
You
too.
would have been very
I-
young for a widow. The widow boy. That must have been really quite frightening.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't do her much good when the doctor told you or told somebody.
Oh, so who should he
Yeah, who should he
call?
Who should he call? Me.
And I wouldn't say. I couldn't.
Oh, how scary. Yeah.
Well, it was, you see, it was in the age when penicillin and all these things were just in their infancy. I mean, really didn't know much about them. And they weren't penicillin to me, like you and me.
Mm.
Used on the exterior and the interior.
Now he can't take penicillin.
You had too much of it.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, they have other things.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got so many of them. And even, I think I've had some things that were related, but they didn't seem to be that, didn't constitute that much allergy. I don't know. So I don't know, I just don't want to try it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, so then you decided to stick around a little longer, and then you had that.
No, I thought, well, after that, I didn't need to worry about kids anymore.
I remember you always used to refer to Matt as your surprise.
He was.
How old were you, like 39?
39
I
plus.
was 40.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, they
It
was
was
starting
our
to-
life begins at 40 job.
Imagine not having him. Imagine
Yeah.
still-
Yeah, it would be
Awful.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wasn't too happy about it.
Well, no, you were ready to go off and maybe paint
Yeah.
a few pictures or something.
No, I said I would rather have a car. Then I changed it to, I think I'll jump off the bridge.
But you had to do it when Dick wasn't around because he'd save you, right? Shouldn't have married a lifeguard.
Bringing the movie
Castor oil
to us
quinine.
ahead of time with castor oil
Oh,
quinine,
really?
which is dangerous.
Yeah, all my
I've
kids are
learned
small.
since.
Because he didn't think he'd let a child get too big.
Well, Meg was little too. You know,
Yeah.
you might have had more trouble with the baby had been much.
I wasn't that little, but
Well, when she said it was time to go, it was time to go. Till Matt. He fooled around for quite a little while.
all day because the doctor was busy in the office. The Well, I'd taken Castrol and quinine with him on April the 1st, and nothing happened. And then the next morning, the water broke. So we went to the hospital, and the doctor said, just hold off, I'll get to you after work. And he went back to work. Usually he went out the farm.
Is it still McGee?
Yeah.
Oh, he bought
I had-
Oh, he's stuck with him.
Yeah.
You're saying April 1st, that must have been Pat.
Oh, yeah, that was, so Matt was the 16th of May,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
And, but then when he came, I had him in the middle of Bing Crosby.
In the middle of Bing Crosby.
I mean, the program was listening to it. So it, but now people have such big babies. How
Oh, I
big
know
was
it.
Bobby Emerson's baby? And she's a little bit of a thing. But, she's lower than me. Okay.
Before the baby came, she was bigger than two of you. I thought sure she'd have twins, but she didn't. But she had a 10-pound boy. They're another family. Of course, they have theirs much closer together, but we now have 3 boys. Scott said we're having more kids.
Yeah, they're gonna have another.
Well, did you ever want to have girls? You just wanted to have girls?
I
Did you
had-
sort of planned on
Everybody
having
wanted us to
Mike
have a
and
girl
Pat?
after,
And-
Did you?
when she was pregnant again. Everybody said, well, wouldn't it be nice if you have a girl? And we said, yeah.
Kenny, you said.
But I knew what to do with boys. You had leftover clothes, and that was important in
That's
those
true.
days.
My first memory of Matt was one night
Yeah, Verlaine came on the scene
we
almost as soon as he
babysat,
was
and
born.
Matt was not yet walking, but he had on a little white nightgown, and he could crawl so fast. I've never seen a baby crawl
A
so
real
fast.
scooter.
And he looked like Casper the Ghost in a little white nightie, and he was just sitting under the coffee table around the house, and he would laugh all the
He
time.
was so cute.
Oh,
He
so
was
sweet.
so adorable. But I think he had a lot of colic when he was a baby.
Oh, he sure did.
All the
He
time.
sure did. All our kids
Yeah.
had
Didn't we
colic.
all?
Yeah,
You
all
did
of you had
too.
colic.
And so did Pat.
We-
Only Pat always
in
had
retrospect,
the
Croup?
croup.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
just
had
remember.
croup too, but
Well, I remember, I don't know whether I remember
Pat always
me or
had his
him or
bed
both of us, but I remember
elevated.
this croup business.
that's right.
well, you had
Still
croup
needed that.
when you were old enough to sit.
Is that when they serve gas?
Yeah,
For,
yeah.
And you had croup
Buzzed up.
once when you were here, and Mike and I, or at your house maybe, we boiled water and kept her under an
Verlaine?
umbrella.
That's
Verlaine did.
Oh,